I will be calling the sanitation meeting into effect at into order at 7:33. We do not have quorum, so we cannot vote on September's minutes. Our meeting is September's minutes, and we can move straight to the new business. So I will make an announcement. I've decided to resign from the sanitation committee as chair of the sanitation due to personal priorities that I must handle pertaining to my family. I will be moving New York City, I'll be leaving New York City by the beginning of next year, so it is best to transition on. Our new chair is Miss Carol now, so I want you guys to give her a warm welcome and help support her in any way you can. Miss Renau, I would give this moment to you to introduce yourself. Miss Renau, are you there? Okay. Maybe she's having technical difficulties. We'll circle back to her. I hope that everybody received the blast email from Ms. Barton pertaining to the subcommittee agenda with all its participants. This is what was discussed in September, but I've been consumed with other ordeals that I haven't really been able to organize the subcommittee meetings. I was hoping we could prioritize a few minutes within this time to set those dates under the guidance of the new chair. Give me a minute, please. Okay, I just saw your message. So will you be able to participate tonight? Or do you just need a few minutes? Comment your response in on the group chat. You should be able to still communicate on your phone. Ms. Barton, Ms. Lulu asks how many members of the committee are needed for quorum.
Give me 1 minute.
No problem.
Right now I have 36, so you would need 17. Yeah, because half of that is 34 is 17. You would need 18.
Which we definitely don't have. Okay, thank you very much.
Hi everyone, pardon the delay. I've logged in on my phone and I've just logged off the computer. For some reason, the sound is not working.
Okay, thank you. We can hear you loud and clear. So I was giving you the floor to introduce yourself and just tell everybody what is your vision for the sanitation community.
Good evening again, everyone. So I've worked with the community board. This is my second appointment. I've worked with the land use committee before. I was co-chair of the land use committee with Rachel Goodfriend. I see some familiar names on here. And before I can give my vision for the sanitation committee, I need to get a thorough understanding of what's been going on with the sanitation committee. And I've heard from Chairperson Daly that we might be merging some of these committees. So I'm going to refrain from giving a vision at this time. As a teacher with the Department of Ed, we need to observe first before we come in and create our own agenda. So I just mentioned that I'm currently a teacher. I've done other community-oriented work. I'm currently a board member with NHS, and I truly look forward to working with all of you that are here. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for that. I definitely understand. So just to give you the lay of the land, I definitely spoke with Mr. Daly in the summertime. His plan was to connect sanitation and parking beautification, if not officially as one committee, then perhaps by having collaborative meetings once every other month. Ms. Antoine is the chair of Park and Beautification. One event that they have is the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, which I believe is the 14th of December at Partagate Park, to welcome the new holiday, uh, for our um, committee agenda. The two initiatives we discussed were creating two databases, two subcommittees. One, which was the database committee that would collect information pertaining to um, issues within the community. I've sent Ms. Barton sent out the document for me listing all the agendas, well, all the goals that the database committee would focus on: long-term parked vehicles with unregistered plates, or people who have left their vehicle there for months who are planning to sell their car, sweepers that aren't effectively cleaning, as well as trees that are falling down and need to be cleaned, trimmed, large debris dumpings, clogged catch basins, and I've attached few target zones with minor concerns. Uh, the second committee would be tree guard, which we would be working in conjunction with the Parks and Beautification Committee to beautify East Flatbush by adding a selected amount of trees. This would first begin with drafting a letter to the Brooklyn Borough President to request a grant for new trees to sponsor new trees in our community. It has been done before, as I discussed with Ms. Frazier. It's just been a while. Now the committee would be focused on what type of trees would they like to add, trees that don't shed a lot, because we don't want to add to our pollution problem, as well as installing tree guards to protect the area around the base around the tree from litter and trash, as well as determining the prime location of where these trees would be placed. It would require the residential approval, and we would prioritize targeting less commercial locations. So that was the current agenda for the subcommittees for the sanitation committee. I'm seeing that we do have some new. uh, I see some common names already. Uh, Thank you for that feedback, Lulu. I'll add that into my notes that I'm sharing with Ms. Renal. But at this present moment, that was the current agenda. Uh, what is needed is having a sit down with each committee member, which as the chair you would mediate. I haven't been able to organize those meetings yet, so as I said earlier, as I started the meeting, I was hoping we could do that during this time slot to secure a meeting date for both the database agenda and the tree guard committee. I've attached to the document the names of those who want to be a part of each committee. If your name isn't present, can you please just drop it in the comment so I can add your name and share the file with Miss Renell?
Miss Kellerman here.
Good evening, Miss Kelman. Do you have a point you want to bring up? Or are you just acknowledging your presence?
I just wanted you to know I'm here. I'm from Kings County, South Civic.
Okay, welcome. Thank you for joining. So, for
You're
those
welcome.
of you who are just joining, as I expressed at the beginning of this meeting, I will be resigning as chair of the Sanitation Committee. I will stay on as a board member, but me and my family have decided to transition out of New York City in the beginning of 2023, which is the reason for this transition in leadership.
Okay.
So, Ms. Renal, I would like to formally hand the floor over to you. I've shared the document with our agenda and what the subcommittee should be prioritizing. At this point, the floor is yours.
Good evening again, everyone. I'm looking at the list. I have it on my computer here. And what I'm going to do at this time, I mean, I didn't think I would be getting the floor, but that's fine. At this time, what I'm going to do, the two committees, just so we can probably try to get something done. Miss Barton, I took a note here. Do we have 34 total members? Is that the total amount in the
No,
Senate?
actually, you have two more added, so you're at 36 now.
We have 36, so
Yes.
we need 18 for a quorum, correct?
Yes.
And and we still don't have 18 members at this time on the line.
No.
All right. What I'm
There's
gonna do,
18, excuse me, there's 18 listed there, but you have to take out me and Mr. Westcott. Mr. Westcott is on here 3 times.
and you also have a visitor, correct? Is the visitor an active member of this committee, or
Who's the visitor?
is Miss
And then
Kelman a
you got
visit?
Ms. Kelman, she's the committee member.
Okay, she is. So you pretty much only have 14 or 13.
Actually, you got Alexandra on here twice. You got Mr. Westcott on here twice. So you're still only down to, and minus me, so you're down to 14.
Thanks so much, Miss Barton. I heard Mr. Coburn ask if anyone wants to be a member of these committees. If you don't see your name on here, Miss Barton, are you able to share the document so that everyone in attendance would be able to see whose name is where, whether it's on the database committee or whether it's on the trees and tree guard committee?
No, I sent that to everyone earlier.
So everyone has it.
Yes.
Everyone in attendance, do you know where you are or would you want to be a part of these committees? I heard that question being asked before.
I would like to be part of the committee. My name is Lulu Freistad and I live on East 32nd Street, please.
Which one do you want to be a part of, Lulu, the tree guards or the database?
No, I want to be part of the sanitation committee. I'm confused about what's happening. I'm sorry.
Okay, you signed up already. Miss Frazier sent me your information.
Okay. It's a little confusing. I'm sorry. Maybe this is my first sanitation meeting. First, we said there wasn't a quorum and then we listed the goals of the meeting. And then now we listed these two new committees. For a newcomer, I'm sorry. I'm just a little confused about what's happening.
So Lulu, as someone who's just assuming and someone who's new to this committee as well, I'm going to give it a shot to just explain what I'm gathering from this meeting. And Mr. Coburn, you can correct me if I'm off. So this is the sanitation meeting. The sanitation committee meets once a month. Within the sanitation committee, you have two subcommittees. The first being the database initiative, and the second being the trees and tree guard committees. These committee, they're forming members, and they have goals that they're going to be working on. So that's what I'm gathering so far as well. No, you can't be a part of the sanitation committee, but we also have work with two subcommittees, and there might be more in the future. Mr. Coburn, if I'm missing anything here?
No, that's about the gist of it. The two subcommittees, the database and the tree guards, are within the sanitation. That is to help us reach our goal as a committee. The database is creating a form, whether it be a Google form, and sharing with residents members would help us collect information pertaining to issues that we are dealing with and tracking it a more effective way. Prior to this initiative, the normal way was expressing um your issues through joining the committee meeting or emailing me one on one. Now, this is a more effective platform. So even if I'm not here, if Miss Renault is not available, another committee member can check the database and direct each concern to the proper authority, whether it be the Department of Environmental Protection, the Department of Sanitation, but it's more universal and more effective. I hope that brings some clarity to your concerns.
Mr. Chairman and former Chairman and President Chair Lady. My name is Kenrick Westcott. I'm the president of the Kings County South Civic Association. We had a meeting, our group, our executive board had a meeting with Mr. Daly, I think about 2 weeks ago, in regards to partnering with, even though I'm on the board, partnering with the committee, with the sanitation department, so we can get work done in the community. So soon as you all get together, decide what is what, you can let us know, and so we can work together to make board center much better and cleaner community.
Is there a direct contact for you, Mr. Westcott? What's the best contact info?
Well, my phone number, I'll give you my phone number, I can give my phone number and also my, I'll tell you what, Secretary Kelman, would you take the information where she can contact us, get for the information?
Are you talking to me, Mr. Westcott?
No, I'm speaking to my secretary. Ms.
Oh.
Kelman, are you there? Could you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. I am
Mrs.
here.
Kelman?
Can
Okay.
you hear me? Mhm.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. What I'm saying is, you can, I guess you can forward them, you can forward the committee board, the best way. Yeah, you can, okay. To make it easy, I'm gonna give them my phone number, whatever, I'm gonna forward to you. My phone number is 197. Chair, are you listening? Are you hearing what I'm saying?
We're here, Mr. Westcott. We're waiting for you.
All right, my number is 197 647 7857.
That is 1917.
Yes.
So just to repeat, that's 917-647-7857.
7857. The name of the organization is Kings County South Civic Association. And I also like to introduce the members who are present at the meeting right now. You have Mr. Blair, which is the treasurer. You have our vice president, which is Patricia Ralph. And you have our secretary, Ms. Kelman, Mrs. Kelman, Karen Kelman.
Is there an email address also, Mr. Westcott?
Yes, Ms. Kelman, I can't remember your address. Ms. Kelman, I don't remember your address. I mean your email address.
Oh, my email. Oh, my email is KELCOT at AOL.com. Very easy.
So that's KELC as in
COT. Yeah.
COT
Mm-hmm. At AOL.com.
at AOL.com. Thanks, Miss Kelman.
You're welcome.
Mr. Westcott. So we're going to reach out to you and follow the directives of Chair Daly. We're going to
Okay.
do this offline.
Okay, fine.
Anyone else? Anything else that we need to know? That any partnerships? Any Miss Bertrand, you're here? All right. Since we're not hearing of any other partnerships, assuming the role and hearing that we have two committees, two subcommittees that are in formation. Ms. Barton, would you be able to break out these committees in breakout rooms so that they can start discussing the goals that are laid out for them?
I don't know how to do the breakout sessions.
Mr.
Mr.
Cole,
Colburn would just do separate side subcommittee meetings.
Mr. Colburn, do you have control to be able to do breakout rooms for the two subcommittees, at least with the names that are here?
I don't believe I have control, but I can try to figure out how to. Give me a minute, please. I've never
No
done that
problem.
before.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes, Lulu, I see that your hand is raised.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say that the goals that were mentioned in the list all sound wonderful. Tree guards, clogged catch basins, getting rid of long-term vehicles, things like that. The idea of the database sounds excellent to be more efficient, and the tree guards can be very helpful. The only thing that I'm noticing is that, to me, I've been a resident here for 8 years. We bought our home in 2014. And from the beginning, the litter has been the overriding concern in terms of sanitation, just really problematic litter. And we've tried to, we've worked with the Tilder Block Association and attended meetings at the police station. And it just, we've done cleanups. It seems challenging. And so I'm just wondering why the litter isn't listed as a a number one priority in terms of these subcommittees and overarching goals. To me, as a resident, it's the litter. It's all about cleaning up the litter.
Well, I definitely understand your concern. Now, that's a mistake on my end because the litter has always been a concern. While I was drafting up the document, I did subconsciously associate small litter with large debris, which is why it's not listed. But the resolution that we talked about in September is also seeking more funding to add more additional garbage cans to residential blocks because currently we cannot place garbage cans in residential areas, residential blocks, only along the blocks that have business corridors, such as Utica, Church, Nostrand, and Rogers. But that is definitely one thing that should be added to the document. I will work with Ms. Renal to add that and send a more up-to-date version of the document. Thank you for raising that concern.
You're so kind to just inform me about the process. And again, I'm new and I don't, I totally understand that there's a lot of work that's gone on for years to try to address this. And I think the new litter cans would be great. We tried, one of the first things I did when I moved here was to write to the Department of Transportation and put in requests for those litter cans. And those requests were all rejected, as you said, because they consider this residential. I feel like it's more than just the litter cans, though. From the other meetings that I've been to, there's been a lot of feeling that we need like a campaign, a public campaign to get people spiritually and psychologically involved in the process and feeling proud about the neighborhood and cleaning it up, and to really work collectively with the community. So I wonder, is that part of, it seems like there's a resolution. So I'm just speaking up now because it sounds like we're making up kind of a long-term plan. So I just want to, throw these ideas into the pot. I don't know what else has been discussed. Thank you.
No, I definitely understand. One of the issues why the garbage cans are also rejected is because of theft going around to the culture. So yes, the beautification initiative did start out has started out as a campaign that would target the behavior of community residents and also the behavior of people who commute through um our community, which contributes to the small trash, the small litter. Um, Now that was the plan during the last fiscal year. However, the plan itself was so large and with the information and timeline that we were given, it was unrealistic. So for this fiscal year, we decided to take a step back, take more tangible approaches, but that, what you just brought up, is definitely a long-term goal that has always been on the forefront of the Sanitation Committee's agenda. Even if it's not written in documentation, it is always a concern. Miss Alexandra?
Hi, nice to meet you, Lulu. Welcome to the committee. I'm really glad to hear that there is somebody else here who has a bit of experience with trying to track down sanitation and get our services reinstated, requesting trash cans, things like that. I think it would be really valuable if you were on the committee. Um, my group, Flatbush Cleanup, has also engaged in a bunch of similar things, engaging with the sanitation department, walking around with sanitation representatives and community affairs officers from NYPD. And I just briefly reviewed the plan for the subcommittee, so I'm not sure if this is on there. We did briefly talk, I think, during the last meeting about a public health campaign, educating neighbors about litter, contaminating our storm drains, and things like that. I think that is a really good idea to keep at the forefront of our plan. I also wanted to say, I think this is a little bit of like which comes first, the chicken or the egg situation, because litter is definitely an issue. We definitely have like more litter, more larger items of litter dumping around our neighborhood. However, I do think it would also make a huge difference, in addition to the public health education, things like that, if we were able to get the sanitation services that we're already supposed to be getting. Because there's a few areas, including my street, where I watched the street sweeper truck drive down the middle. The officers don't enforce parking, therefore no one makes an attempt to move, and it just never gets cleaned. And around construction sites that surround the precinct block and things like that. So it's definitely a multi-part issue. I would really love to hear more from you, Lulu, about your experience, what you've tried, what has maybe worked a little bit. Yeah, how you would like to move forward.
That's very encouraging. And I was actually at a 67th precinct meeting where you were there. And I remember you speaking up, and I was really excited about the work you're doing and your email address. And I'm really excited about, I spoke with Carol at the meeting, at the community board meeting, was really excited about her statement. She was speaking up really passionately about moving forward on this issue. So I'm excited to be as useful. I mean, I work and I'm very busy. I run 2 nonprofits, but I'm excited to do anything I can to collaborate and cooperate.
Thank you, Lulu. Thank you, Alexandra. I'm just going to jump in for a minute here. And it is definitely ongoing. It is definitely a work in progress. And I heard you loud and clear. I hear a cleanup campaign and I hear a public health campaign. Just to give you a little bit of my background, I live near the stairs, the standalone stairs that's not there anymore. I'm on East 25th Street. So a lot of times we had to take matters into our own hands. And when I say that, we had a cleanup campaign in this neighborhood, and we did not only focus on our block, which is East 25th between Clarendon and D, we focused on the perimeter as well. And we were able to get one of our residents right in and had two garbage cans placed on Rogers Avenue. So I have some leads, but we're going to need everyone on this, and this is something that's going to be ongoing. When we did our cleanup campaign in November of 2021, and I'm trying to make sure I'm giving the right year. We wrote into Borough Hall, and the borough president at that time, no, Mayor Adams, he did collaborate with us. He came over here to help promote a Flatbush cleanup. And this is not something new. This is something that's ongoing throughout New York, throughout Brooklyn, because this happens in Bay Ridge as well. I teach in Bay Ridge, and their elected officials are promoting a cleanup. What they do it like every Thursday. They do it, it's ongoing just to, you have to change people's behavior, right? So the current mayor, he supported us. We were able to get sanitation lend us the equipment that we needed. We cleaned it up. It looked good for a week or two, and then we're back to square one, right? So this is definitely something that has to, we have to keep at it. And I heard you, Alexandra, we also have to hold our sanitation department accountable, because I've seen the dry sweeping, and it only causes more, it's more of a health issue when that dust is like flared up. So this is definitely ongoing. I've logged it here. And if you don't mind putting your information in the chat, Alexandra, I see your name is on the database initiative, but we need to reach out after this meeting to start putting something more, to start solidifying what we need to do, instead of just the one-off meeting and just the database. And I'm just going to turn it over if anyone else has anything else to add, but it's definitely something that will be ongoing.
Hello, this is Candy. I guess I'm gonna jump in since it's got a little quiet.
Your name,
Um,
I'm sorry, your name, it says Candy.
TS Candy.
Thank you, TS Candy. I'm just making notes on my end as well.
Yes, I'm the executive director of Black Trans Nation. Our organization have done several community cleanups this year, and is currently still doing cleanups. We call it the Love Where You Live campaign, where we go to certain areas and do cleanups. So we have been doing cleanups, and if anyone would like to join us in doing cleanups, it would be very, very helpful, because we are LGBT TGNC individuals that has been doing a lot of the cleanups and sanitations here in the district. Especially my area is more of the Foster and Nordstrom area, Flatbush Gardens. And yes, I was just highlighting that if anybody want to join us. Our website is blacktransnation.org. Um, and you can feel free to, send us. We have on our website our cleanup. Send us an email. Join us. I heard that sanitation donate equipment. I would love if they would have donated equipment to us, but we have equipment that we purchase, so that we can have it and do cleanups and don't have to worry about, borrowing. So, but we do need more hands-on, and especially since it's getting cold outside, a lot of our community is not wanting to come outside in the freezing to do any type of, cleanups. But we've been having a great, we've been having a great handful of about 10 to 15 people to show. Um, But yes, I would just like to highlight we do have a Love Where You Live campaign. If you would like to, I know a lot of you all are busy, but if y'all are and do have and manage nonprofit organizations, I'm sure you all have volunteers that you all could send out in reference to this matter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, T.S. Candy. And Miss Cook, I see your hands up, but just before Miss Cook, I just want to clarify what sanitation donates would be like garbage bag and gloves, T.S. Candy. They loan rakes and the bigger equipment that has to be returned. So they do donate keepables, but we also have to return some things to them. Miss Cook, I saw your hand was up as well.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Pardon me for my tardiness. I was trying to get on. I was having a little problem getting on. So I do not know if this question was asked or the statement was referred to before I got on. I have a question and I have a statement. First, the question. I would like to know if it's a mandate that sanitation department supposed to check all storm drains when there is after the storm. Take, for instance, I have been calling 311 and sending in emails for the corners of right along 35th East 35th Street from Tilden right up to Lenox. They're all covered in leaves and rubbish. Every one of them. I took pictures again today because I had to walk along there today for an appointment. On Linden Boulevard, also on Linden and the corner of Linden and 35th, it's really bad. On Snyder and 35th, I doubt if we have another rain, if we have rain or any type of whether heavy or light, whether heavy or light, it will be a little hard for the drainage to go down. The last rain we had, the corner of Tilden and 35th, both sides had so much water because the drains were clogged that the cars could not go through. So I wanted to know if it was mandated by sanitation department to check storm those what do you call them? The drain,
The storm drains, the catch
the
basins
storm
at the
drain, the
corner.
Yes.
catch
The
basins,
catch
catch
basins
basin.
right
If
at
I
the
may
corner.
respond to that.
Yes, please.
So yes, that definitely has been an ongoing issue since I hopped on as chair of sanitation. The actual protocol is that they be informed of the complaint, whether it be through 311 or the community board, and they can act upon it and clean it. Schedule a team to come and clean it. The issue is sometimes people inform them by then the problem isn't solved, so they clean it and they clean it after the incident happened, where the streets are being flooded, basements are being flooded. That's the best they can do. There is no system in place on the sanitation department hand where they clean the catch basins every every quarter or biannually, and I think that would definitely be a better solution. But for them, they want to be informed, then they act on it. I know there's
Okay.
multiple hands raised, but I just wanted to clarify that point.
Okay, so that was my question. My statement is, I have a suggestion. That's my statement. Well, it's a Y in there too. Is it possible that they can clean the storm areas when they're cleaning the streets? On the same days they clean the streets because the corners are right there. The corner is the corner of the street. It's not a different place. So it could be clean because I'm pretty sure you cannot miss the corner if you're going in the middle of the street. So if there's a street cleaning on that specific day, those corners with the catch basins should be clean also. That's my statement. And I took pictures today, this afternoon, approximately 3:45. Should I send it to you? Because I plan to send it to 311 via email. Should I send it to you also, Mr. Joseph Cabon?
Well, you could share with me and Miss Renault, who will now be the official chair of the sanitation committee, to respond to your idea. It's definitely possible. They are supposed to be doing that to begin with, but historically there has been a lack of accountability. So sometimes the street cleaners just press on through the streets. They don't really target an area, or they don't even use water sometimes. So going back to the database committee, we need to devise a system to hold sanitation accountable on their end because they are supposed to be cleaning it to begin with.
Okay, so may I have someone email to send them the pictures in the chat? Can I have those two persons email, or they can send it to me directly? I would put my email in the chat.
Me and Miss Renal will drop it in the chat.
Thank you very much. Also, I forgot the corner of 32nd Street and Snyder. Um, I know the address there by 29, whatever. That I complain about that when I'm passing and I'm walking towards the subway because I live here over 40 years, and that particular catch basin is always clogged. The corner of 32nd Street in Snyder. And thank you very much for listening to me. I do have a lot more to say about Church Avenue. I'm pretty sure somebody brought it up before I got on. Church Avenue, which I have to walk, and in my area, it seems like a little dump. I hate to say it. I live here and it's very filthy. I do not know what else to say. I heard people talking about trash cans. The more trash cans you put, more private people are going to dump in the trash cans. That I know from living around here. But if we can hold the people accountable for cleaning in front of their places, whether it's their homes or their businesses, I or, or I don't know how to do it or how or what to suggest that we do it if they get tickets for
Miss
filth.
Cook, Miss
Yes,
Cook, I'm just
yeah,
going to chime in and thank you so much because it is filthy. And I say that because I go, just like many of you, I drive through 3 to 4 neighborhoods every single day. And honestly, Flatbush is one of the worst.
yes.
So the way we hold them accountable, and I'm just going by what we do here on this side. So for example, we had a home around the corner from us and the garbage was piling up. We took pictures, we sent it into 311, nothing happened. We took more pictures, we sent it in, nothing happened. But we stayed on it. We also did it through our block association, and it's a collective effort. After doing it 4 5 times, and the homeowner ended up getting a few citations, a few tickets, they came and they cleaned it up. It doesn't seem like it gets cleaned after one try with everything we've done on this end. So we're going to ask, whenever you see garbage anywhere, take pictures, hold 311 accountable,
I've been doing
hold
that for 40 years. Trust
and
me. And one moment, sorry to cut in on you. Stay right there because I wanted to finish. As my thoughts, sometime wavers. The corner of New York Avenue and Church, not only the rubbish, where they cut out the area for wheelchairs, I can't remember what that is called. The water is settling there during the summer and there are mosquitoes, and during the winter where it freezes and there's ice. And go ahead, continue, Miss Carol Renaud.
I understand. I
Yes.
understand when you're saying that
It,
sometimes you lose the thought. But yes.
okay.
So it's a shame, but the system is broken, and we had to do it like 4 or 5 times. Another sore point on this side was the Sears store before they closed. It was always filthy around Sears. So what it took, we sent it into 311. We sent it into Department of Sanitation. We also had to write a letter to Sears corporate department. So sometimes it's multiple areas that has to be addressed, and that's the only reason we get some type of a resolution. But I'm also going to put it on the floor here. We also have to keep our elected officials accountable. That's why we elected them, right? So
Mhm.
we have to write letters to them, and if
Very
that's what
true.
it takes, we need to get some more letters going.
Yeah.
I see a few more
I
people have
agree
their.
wholeheartedly. I agree wholeheartedly. If every one of us can, just not one or two people, I mean, it's more than just two people living around here and walking through Flatbush. I walk through morning and night. It's filthy. I live in a dump. Let's put it that way. I live in a dump. My area is a dump everywhere. People are dumping in empty neighborhoods. The corner of 35th Street and Snyder. There's a building going up there. I don't know if they change hands. They stopped the building, and there's rubbish around it constantly. People are cleaning their cars and throwing things, the old TVs. Yes, I had it cleaned up recently, but it's continuously. But the whole area around the streets, people are walking. We have the people who live in the area, they're walking and they finish eat something and they throw it on the ground. It's like nothing. I don't know where they think they're living. Look, I can go on all night, but we do have a meeting and I do not want to
and
be on the soapbox.
and
But
Miss
all
Cook,
of us have to work together and every one of us could take pictures because I think everyone who has a phone has a camera on their phone. So not just one, two, or three people, it could be multiple people. Thank you very much for listening to me tonight.
thanks again, Miss Cook. And it's the same thing in every corner of our community here. What we do, we also tag them on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And when we tag the elected officials, they respond to us right away, right? We're not saying we get like a nice, clean, hi, hello, I'm coming over there to clean it up, but they respond. And so we really need everyone to stay on it and to try to build on what Mr. Coburn and all of our board members had started. Lulu, I see your hand is up. T.S. Candy, I see your hand is up. Alexandra, your hand is up as well. I'm not sure who was first.
I want to
Alexandra's hand was up, and then let's follow with TS and Lulu after.
My hand was up from earlier, so Lulu, go ahead.
Thanks. I wanted to get TS Candy's email. I went to your website, blacktransnation.org, but I did not see a volunteer. So I am interested in finding out what day and time you do your cleanups. One of my opinions is that there's really two things necessary to move this forward. I don't think the elected officials are going to do us like that much good. We've gone over and over again to our city council person, Farrah Lewis. We've gone to Rodney's Bichotte, our assembly member. They are well-intentioned, but I think they have a lot of really urgent issues, like people who need housing and food. And I think it's hard for them to, to get the bandwidth to deal with this. But what we did find is that when we did it ourselves and we did it in a public way that was organized, more people join in. So like we organized a cleanup at church in Nostrand. It was on a Saturday from 10 to 1. And even while we were out there like sweeping and picking up garbage, people would walk by and they'd go like, oh man, you guys doing this? Like, give me a broom. And they would, they would start. And we went door to door to the businesses and we told them, it's your responsibility to keep the sidewalk and the gutter clear. And they'd all say like, oh, we do. But we'd like say, okay, well, we've come back and, we've noticed that it isn't clean. Or maybe, when you talk to them, they always say, I'm doing my part. But you have to, it's important, I think, I'm just trying to keep my thoughts as simple as possible. It's important to do the cleanups collectively as a group so people don't feel like they're the only ones doing it. And if we do it neighborhoods together, like we clean up East 32nd Street a lot. We'll go out there on Saturdays and it's pretty clean. And now we connected with the people on 34th Street and they want to do it too. And if we connect with TI Candy and we connect with Ms. Cook, and you were talking about the different neighborhoods, if everybody's doing it at the same time, like once a month on Saturday from 10 to 1, then people start to know, oh, this is the time we all come out together. And no one feels like, oh, I'm the only one doing this. So that's one to me, just start on our own, but collectively. And number two, we've got to have a public like neighborhood campaign. I love the name of the campaign. She said, "Love where you live." I actually made a poster with like flowers to give people the right idea. And we hear over and over again, if you put out the litter cans, people put their personal garbage in it. We need a neighborhood wide or citywide campaign educating people not to put their personal garbage in the city cans, because it keeps the sanitation from putting out the city cans, and it keeps the city cans from being effective. So those two things, collective cleanup and a campaign to keep people from putting personal garbage in the city cans, those two things alone could really go a long way.
Lulu, I'm in agreement with you, but I just want to add, how long we have to start somewhere, right? And we've been doing this over here for over 30 years as well. I've lived on this block for a long time. How long are you willing to continue to clean up? That's just my question to the group.
Thank you. I was just about to ask that question because I hate to say it. I really hate to say this, but some people have the mindset in our community, oh, it's going to get cleaned up anyway, so I could just throw it. So they dirty is just like some families at home in a house. Oh, John is going to do it. Mary's going to do it. Sue is going to do it. So I could leave it there and they'll pick up after me. We have to hold people. It has to be something. I remember when I moved into this community way back that people were ticketed for having in front of their places dirty. And no one will drop things on the ground. So something is wrong. Something is going wrong because it's acceptable and people are not holding each other accountable. When I see somebody throw something down, I would say, oh, sorry, you dropped something. I thank God I'm not locked up as yet or not in a fight, but I would tell you. And some of us see, as we are on here and we're speaking, we see people throwing things and we don't say anything. Then we get into a community board meeting and then we talk about it. I'm sorry, I'm just upset about the filth I live in.
Thank you, Lulu. Thanks, Miss Cook, again. The reason I ask, because when we discuss it on this side at our block association, and Lulu, I agree with you. We have to do it. We have to start it. Miss Cook, I agree with you as well. But at the same time, we need to try to look at something bigger than a band-aid solution, because we're always going to be in this type of a forum just saying we need to clean. Yes, we need to clean because I live here, but the sanitation is broken and the elected officials are not doing their job. If the elected official does not hear from us, they think everything is fine. When I work with the 67 precinct and we complain about abandoned cars over here, they come and they tow it. If we don't say anything, our officers are telling us, oh, you guys are all right. So we have to, the same way they do it in Bay Ridge, the same way they do it in Bensonhurst, we have to make the issue bigger than it is. Sanitation has to work. The elected official has to work. When we tag them, they're shamed and they come over here and then they say, okay, we're going to help you with your cleanup. That's still a short-term solution. In addition to the short-term solutions that we have, we need to make sure that we broaden it and we make sure we fix the problem or attempt to fix it as much as we can. And Alexandra, I know your hand is up, so I'll turn it over to you.
I have an idea. I think this is sort of what everyone is going toward. And it's also something that I've been thinking about and trying to figure out for the last few years. We clearly need to go up the chain of command. We clearly also need documentation that we've been working on these problems, not because people think we're lazy or just coming out of nowhere with these requests, but I think because our officials just have a hard time acting on anything that there's not documented, people saying like, I have this problem, I want this addressed. So what I'm thinking is maybe what we can do, we can make a list of the agencies that we need to hit up. DSNY, the community affairs precinct officers, for example, Farrah Lewis, Rodney C.B. Show, Kevin Parker. We need a list, and then I think we need each person who can commit from this committee to send each of those persons a letter, and maybe we can come up with a draft, a template that's easy, so nobody has to sit there and waste time thinking about what they're going to say and make it a huge thing. But maybe we can come up with some kind of template. People can change it as they want, include their personal, what they have to say about it. And I think maybe if we also decide on a few places, for example, Snyder and 32nd, maybe pick 3 locations and also get those same committee members to commit to taking pictures and submitting whatever it is, 1 report, 2 reports, 3 reports, but just come up with a baseline. Like, this is the documentation that we need. Each person is going to work toward getting each of their piece of documentation, and maybe it has to be done 3 or 4 times for one location, and that's fine, but at least we know it's happening. And then once that's accomplished, we can go to the next up chain of command, or all of them at once, so we could write all of our elected officials with this information at once. But maybe if we have it organized and we don't get any result, for example, from Rodney C., then we can go to the borough president, then we can go to the mayor's office with all of our documentation. I don't know, how does that sound?
It sounds like a plan, Alexandra. And I'm not saying that we're not going to be cleaning and doing everything else at the same time. But if we take it on and if we don't complain and if we don't do anything else, we're always going to be at this point. Because we're always at this point on this block, right? Until we shame them and until the mayor came over and until we had 4 different tickets sent into 311, then we started seeing something happening, right?
Exactly.
I see Mr. Westcott and I see T.S. Candy as well.
Again, Westcott. Yeah, I totally agree with all of the speakers that spoke before. But the problem we really have is there are a lot of people in regards of the merchants. If we decided that we get an inspector, give them tickets, people start complaining. Also, there are a lot of homeowners that would not come out and sweep in front of the places. For instance, for the trees that are dropping all these leaves now, some streets are walked on can hardly walk because of the leaves. But what I would suggest, I don't know if it would happen now. I remember a few years ago, the Kings County South, we had a street down, and we were able to go to the district attorney, and they would those kids who commit minor crimes, they would send these kids to work with us, and that's how we get a lot of help in cleaning our area. So I don't know if it's going to work, but we can also try that. Besides the resident, if we can get extra help, that would benefit us too. And that's my suggestion in regards to the cleanup, wherever and however we decide to have it.
Thanks, Mr. Westcott. T.S. Candy, I know you had your hand up.
Yes, thank you for recognizing me. Yes, so I just wanted to highlight. I dropped my email address in the chat, and I was chatting with my team just moments ago because, like I said, we just recently did a cleanup like yesterday, um, and it wasn't in our district because we did a cleanup maybe a week or two ago in our district at PS 361, and we TGNC LGBT individuals, so we were attacked by some of the community members just by us cleaning up. So I guess what I'm stressing is we are doing cleanups and we have on our schedule to do cleanups, but we need Assemblywoman Monique Chandler, this was up in her office and things of that nature. So I just said it to say like we are connected and we are connecting with Assembly and members in reference to these matters. It's just and then we do make all of our cleanups public, but not everybody know each other, not everybody follow each other or whatever like that. And then within the community board, no, I did not send the cleanups to the community board for them to put on schedule, for them to put in their office or whatever. But I say that to say that we, if we could be more actionable, which is come out this Sunday at a specific location. and let us start doing it like every Sunday or or something of that nature, because like I said, we've been doing it on calendar, but we don't have a specific date or week that we do it, or whatever the case may be. But we could get something more steady, but it's just us, individuals that are TGNC. We're not just going to keep coming out to areas where we try to come out and beautify the neighborhood by our Love Where You Live campaign, and we're being ran away due to our identities. So that's unfair for us. We don't have safety. So sometimes when we come out to a neighborhood, we're scheduled to be out there for 2 hours. Due to our identity, sometimes it'd be 10 hours. And there has been other, individuals that's non TGNC that's been with us, that has been that's white, that's been with us, that actually have experienced this and didn't even know how to step up, which I understand. You have a black angry guy coming, of course, you're gonna, but so it's just a lot that happened, traumatizing within, within that. So yeah, so that's what we've been having. We haven't had the experience of other people, walking up and wanting to pick up a broom and rake up some leaves. It's been great to be in those type of areas, but Flatbush Gardens is just not, where it's at. Um, as far as people willing. But like I said, we can most definitely put something. My email is there. We can most definitely put something on the calendar. I would love for the Sanitation CB17 to come out, or to send board members, or anything of that nature, for us to be able to make it more stronger, so that we can have more bodies and individuals that's cleaning up, so our safety will be more secured, instead of it's just us, or us feeling like it's just us out here trying to, champion a issue that, gonna happen as soon as we walk away. Like they're gonna throw some trash out as soon as we leave, or the leaf or the trees is gonna blow in now all the leaves back there. You see what I'm saying?
Thanks so much as well, TS Candy. Did anyone else have their hands up that we did not hear from at this time? I'm just scrolling through as well. Alexandra, you had your hand up from before. Mr. Westcott, was it from before?
Before, yes, before.
Thank you so much. And TS Candy, I know you just spoke. My recommendation, just from listening to what was said, some of what was said, and I take input from everyone here. You know much more than I do. And Mr. Coburn, thanks for getting us off to a great start. I see it's called the Database Initiative Subcommittee. I would add on to that committee, uh, and this is, I see George, Alexandra, Yolande, T.S., Janique, Vanessa, and George Tate is on there. Instead of breaking out a separate cleanup campaign committee, I would suggest that that committee be added, cleanup campaign slash database initiative subcommittee. What are your thoughts on it?
I agree.
Anyone else? Does it not make sense, or is it too much for one committee, or?
Excuse me, this is Miss Cook. Can you explain that one more time? Oh, do I have a say in this? Because
Yes,
I'm not.
you.
I do? Okay. Can you explain it one more time specifically?
So, and Mr. Coburn, you can correct me if I'm off. We had two subcommittees, Ms. Cook.
Yes.
We had a database committee, and this database would be tracking all of the issues that gets reported, along with a myriad of other items that they would have to try to address. We also had the Tree and Tree Guard Committee, which is a softer committee, so to speak, beautification, which comes in line with sanitation and cleanliness, but it comes pretty much after the cleanup. Now, from tonight's discussion, we see that there's a pressing need, not because it wasn't said, means we're not focusing on cleaning up, but just to stress it, we were going to add cleanup campaign slash database initiative subcommittee as one subcommittee.
That sounds fine to me.
And the
Alex,
reason
Yeah, it sounds good. Okay, so I have a question. I'm always thinking. So the one that is beautification slash cleanup, is that the same? Are they working together with the Parks Department where we have the trees that are need trimming underneath? You have to bend your head when you're walking until then to to get through on the sidewalk because underneath the trees are bending down and
The tree and tree guard committee would be working with beautification and sanitation. And Miss Cook, if you have the bandwidth, I'm going to ask that you join this committee. If you're able to, we need your service here or on one of these subcommittees.
Okay. Yes, and I'll give you my number directly to you so you call me and we can talk about that because I would not be able to make every month because I travel also. So I would speak to you. I'm willing to join and help, but I would speak to you and see how it will be useful. Or if I don't want to commit and then you say, I'm not being, well, let's talk. How about that?
Not a problem.
I'm interested, but let's talk.
Not a problem. Now, for the current members of the Database Initiative Subcommittee, would you let me know or let us know if you think it's too much to add cleanup here as well? Because we need to get something else going, right? I know what Mr. Coburn and what you were trying to do. And T.S. Candy, I see you're on that committee as well, so we're going to need your expertise. Miss Lulu, should we add you to the cleanup campaign and the database initiative committee as well?
Lulu left the meeting.
Miss Lulu left. All right, we have her information. I'm going to email her just to ask her to join that committee. Anything else? Any other pressing issues that anyone has?
Not at this moment. Not at this moment. I would just document and put everything in order because I did not come to the meeting with notes, and I took too much. I don't like to take up a lot of time because we have to be equal for everyone. So thank you for listening to me, and I put my phone number in the chat, and please give me a call so we can talk as soon as this meeting is over, if you don't mind.
And I'm looking in the chat just to make sure we have your number.
Did you see it? I put it to community board. Who should I say? I put it to community board and host. Was that correct?
Yes, we'll get it.
Okay.
Anyone else? Anything else pressing before we move on to the next agenda item? No, just to do a quick recap, we still have two subcommittees for anyone who's joining. One of the subcommittee has been expanded, and we're going to be reaching out to everyone on here, especially those who had expressed interest, to ask you to commit to helping us reaching some of these goals. Mr. Coburn, just before I keep rushing through it, anything else to add? I know you're on your way out, but we still value your expertise in this area.
Nope, that's the gist of it, and I still will be participating for for the committee meeting until I officially leave New York State. So I still won't be leaving officially, but I will be here to give my 2 cents.
Not a problem. And again, we truly appreciate it. Now, these subcommittees that were created, is there a lead on the subcommittees? Alexandra, I see there's an email that says cleanupflatbush@gmail.com. If I email you and we go back and forth with updates, is this the way you've been doing it with Mr. Coburn?
Updates as far as the committee or the data project?
the data, the committees making an attempt to move forward. Is this where he's been able to reach you, or
Oh, yes. Yep. I think I have another email address listed, but I checked them all. So you can reach me at Cleanup Flatbush.
at cleanupflatbush@gmail.com?
Mm-hmm.
And the next subcommittee, was there someone in charge of that subcommittee, Mr. Coburn, the tree guards?
No, not officially.
Not officially. All right. All right. Anything else before we move on? The gist of it is we're going to be emailing, we're going to be calling, we're going to be asking you, everyone on here, where we are. We're going to be asking to look at the database. We're going to be asking residents to call into 311 when they send stuff into us as well. But anything else before we move forward? All right, hearing that there's nothing else, the next agenda item, and I know we're out of order, we're going back and forth. Is there any new business at this time? With sanitation, I know there's always something else. There's always a dump around the corner or something else somewhere. All right, hearing none, I'm looking at the current agenda that we have here. I just have it opened here. We still don't have quorum. I'm looking at the total numbers that are on here. We have, like, some people, Miss Barton told me it's duplicate. I can see that. Mr. Coburn gave his report. So we're gonna have to table the September minutes until we're able to get a quorum. I'm just gonna leave it open for any other open discussion before we call this meeting. All right, hearing that there's nothing else, and I'm just checking the chat once more.
I'm a little late. I'm sorry. I have one thing.
Not a problem. This is Alexandra.
This is Alexandra. I didn't have a chance to comb through the minutes from, wait, this is a sanitation meeting. Sorry. I think I'm thinking of a presentation from a rezoning committee, but this is important for everybody to know. I was at a rezoning committee recently. I think it was about a month ago. There were some representatives there from, I believe, the mayor's office, like a community engagement unit or something like that. They did offer a bit of help in getting the construction sites cleaned up, which I think are a pretty big source of some of the litter that's not getting addressed, which those landlords or builders or whatever should take responsibility for. If anyone happens to have come in contact with them again, I will take the time after this meeting to look through those minutes and see if I can find their contact information. But it might be a good resource to have somebody at that level, even if they can just assist us with getting some of the construction sites cleaned up. I think that could be great.
Do you remember who that person was, the direct contact, Alexandra, or?
I can find it. I saw a name. There was a lot of information to look through. I did see the gentleman's name. I think it was a lady and a gentleman that were speaking. I didn't see the contact information. I will find it again and reach out to you and see if you happen to have their contact. I can find it some way, somehow. I'll find their office. I'll call that office. I can give their names, but it could be a good resource that I will follow up on.
Not a problem. And if you can email it in, you're gonna have, you have the email address. Um, I'm looking at the tree, Alexandra. I'm fine with what you're doing in that committee. I'm just trying to solidify the tree and tree guards committee. Is Alexandra Nicole on the line?
That's me, same person.
Okay, because I see Alexandra S.
Oh, logged on. That's weird. I logged on and sorry, is that the two names that are listed in the committee or logged on to this meeting?
I see two different Alexandra, Schmid Bar and also Alexandra Nicole.
Okay, that's me. My name is Alexandra Nicole Schmidbauer, and my personal email is Alexandra Nicole 522 at Gmail. So that might be where the confusion came from.
Not a problem. No, the reason I'm asking is Lilith on the line?
Yes.
Lilith, would you, we're just trying to get an idea of the capacity that everyone has to in terms of the subcommittee. I know TS Candy is here as well.
Yeah.
Jeanette Williams, are you here?
TS Candy here.
TS Candy is here. Is Jeanette Williams here? Is Jadiva Smith here?
I am here.
Jadiva, we're just checking on capacity. Would you be able to co-chair this subcommittee with TS Candy?
I don't really know what I would be doing as a co-chair, so I would be more comfortable just being a part of the committee as opposed to being a co-chair, because I don't know what that would entail.
All right, we're trying to get a few leads on the committee because this is the only way we're going to be able to try to get something more, something solidified, something, an appoint person.
Thank you for the co-chair
So
position.
what does the co-chair position do?
So we would send you emails. We would be checking in back and forth. We would make sure that we're contacting whom we need to be contacting in terms of getting the tree guards, in terms of beautifying. You're the point person for this area, along with TS Candy.
I think I would be more comfortable just staying in the committee, just not being a co-chair. And
In the
also too, because
committee?
this is yes, because this is holiday season at my job for the next like month and a half. I work at USPS, so I don't want to sign up for something knowing that I'm gonna be like crazy late and stuff like I was today because of the holiday season as well too.
All right.
So
All
I don't
right.
mind being in the committee. I just don't want to be co-chair.
Alrighty, understood. TS Candy, I'm going to be emailing you. We're going to be emailing you. Is there anyone else who would be able to have a co-chair role with TS Candy who have their name listed on here? All right, hearing none at this time. So I have TS Candy's information here. Mr. Coburn, I'm going to cede the floor back to you in case you have anything else to share before we start wrapping it up.
No, ma'am, you can adjourn the meeting when you're ready.
One last call. Anything else that anyone has to add?
This is Miss Cook. All I would like to say, I sent you the email. I sent you my phone number and my email again. I was knocked off earlier. I don't know, for some reason I was knocked off. I'm back on, and I resent my phone number and my email address for you directly.
Your phone number and your email. I'm just making sure we have it, Miss Cook, before you leave. Mr. Coburn, can you see it? Miss Barton, can you see Miss Cook's information? Because I can't see it on this phone that I'm on.
Also, Monica McCain Brown. Sorry, I'm very, very late.
Thank you, Miss Brown.
Ms. Renault, you are the new chairperson.
We're gonna get a co-chair as well because we might be merging these committees. But currently, I'm assuming part of this role from Mr. Coburn.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Renaud, I cannot see the information that was dropped below.
I don't see it either. I'm wondering where it's going.
If
Miss
you send it to
Barton,
someone personally, you have to click everybody in the send to section, then type the message.
Miss Cook, are you able to send it again just before we adjourn the meeting? Just in the essence of time and because we're cognizant that everyone is busy, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Ms. Cook and anyone else who has anything to send in, please send it to the community board. You can address it, Attention Sanitation Committee, and they're going to forward it to us. Can I have someone who second the motion?
Second, Joseph
Thank,
Coburn.
thank you so much, Mr. Colburn. Thank you to everyone for attending and for sharing your insight. We look forward to hearing from you. We're going to be reaching out to you. Have a great evening, everyone.
Ms.
Happy
Carroll,
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank
Thank
you
Ms.
you.
so much.
Carroll,
Thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
Mhm.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Good evening, everyone. Happy holiday.
Same
Same
to
to you.
you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Happy
Bye
holidays.
bye.
Miss Cook, I have your
Bye.
information. Don't worry, we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Good night, all.
Take care. Thanks again.